What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Senator of Chaos and Controversy. Now, before I get into this video, I'd just like to say, I know many are probably wondering what was the reason or the cause or the purpose of my absence from YouTube. Um, Basically, on a personal level, I'm dealing with trying to figure out and balance the whole being a single parent, dealing with stuff as far as like going to work, coming home, being a father, dealing with trying to figure out where I have to go in December because of the situation with the landlord that had passed and the siblings fighting amongst themselves about the property and the legality behind that. So I have my sister who came down from Houston and she's trying to help me out as best as possible. So I guess when Ricky Manor had asked the question, am I going through something in life? Right now, currently, yes, I am. And I have to deal with the course, I have to deal with DCFS. Um, my son's mom, who ain't much of anything right now, I don't really want to talk ill will about her, but right now, where my attitude lies in that situation, it is what it is. Okay? Now, with that off my chest, moving along, let's talk about Dave Chappelle and the closer. So, I intentionally and purposely waited to make a video and reference it in regards to Dave Chappelle's The Closer and the controversy that we all knew was going to be inevitable, coming from a certain community with the selective outrage for all intention purposes, just to, I don't know, make themselves relevant. I just want to say it like that. Okay? I seen the special on Netflix. And I was looking for the purpose, the reasoning, trying to rationalize where the outrage was coming from, and I couldn't find anything. Basically, Dave Chappelle pointing out the hypocrisy, took a jab at why people from that community made a choice to get outraged, get angry, want to take it a step to cancel him, target him for whatever reason. And these are the same people who piggyback off of the same things that are standing now that fight against prejudice, discrimination, racism, and everything else that people in the black community have fought and died for and made sacrifices just so these things could be put in place for other people to benefit from. Not use those things to go attack those who laid down the fucking road and the foundation for them to even exist. But here's where the contradiction and the hypocrisy comes into play. Dave Chappelle is Sticks and Stones, which is where basically this kind of really got the ball rolling with the whole selective being triggered and offended came from the community. He pointed out one incident where there was a producer that he has to go and talk to before he goes on to, express his material, where she brought up the fact that you can't use the term fag in your stand-up or in your content or in your skits. Now he was like, well, why? And she said, because Dave, you're not gay. You're not of that community. You can't use that term. Dave said, okay, I'll take it out of my skit. Then he walks towards the door, then he stops abruptly, then turns around, says, Renee, I got a question. So I can't use the F word because I'm not gay. So why is it that I could use the N word with such impunity? And she said, well, because Dave. And Dave was like, hold up. Let me tell you something. I'm going to use the term, the N word. That doesn't mean that I am one. I thought that was like, bow. Selective. In the closer, he brings up the situation with the baby, where the baby's success came about basically the way it was presented from him being involved with black on black crime, how he shot somebody in Walmart, his success and his fame skyrocketed. Okay. Not too long ago, he said something to the effect offending and triggering the alphabet community, and now they want to cancel him. Now his whatever. Okay. Selective. Again, I intentionally waited to do this video because I was waiting for a particular YouTuber to step up and speak on the whole controversy surrounding Dave Chappelle. And as they say, patience is a virtue. There's a YouTuber who was trans. Her name is Blaire White. Okay. Blaire White, I come to know of her when she had her debates with Tommy Lauren. Okay. Because Tommy Lauren was kind of a little hard on the gay community, you know. And Blaire White had to step in and kind of correct some things, okay. The representation for the community overall does not speak on the individuals. Just like the representation of the black community or the white community doesn't speak on the representation of the individuals. Generalizing. That's the whole thing. That I say I try to be very careful when I speak on certain things. Because when you speak with a generalizing tone, that makes people look at you as, oh, so you see all of us like this. Instead of talking specifically towards those that you mean the intent or the comment to be reflected on. Okay? Blaire White was basically, the video that she did was like the icing, the creme de la creme. Ooh, she just went in. She said, look, the part of Dave Chappelle's stand-up was when he spoke on his trans friend Daphne, who he had opened up for him on one of his acts. And, you know, a lot of people really wasn't feeling Daphne, but then eventually Daphne being who Daphne is, you know, being comfortable around Dave was actually funny. And Dave said, you know what, you're actually funny. So take that same energy and that same personality and put it on stage. And lo and behold, Daphne started being received better than, you know, when Daphne first started doing stand-up. Okay? So that relationship, that bond had formed. From there, Sticks and Stones came out. Dave caught a lot of flack, a lot of hatred, a lot of criticism, whatever. Daphne spoke up for him. Because Daphne spoke up for him, okay, Daphne caught a lot of backlash, a lot of hate. And Blaire said this is the problem with the gay community, the alphabet community, or whatever term that is used to represent the community. Blaire White said, I'm no stranger to criticism, being threatened, being bullied from my own community, so to speak. So I understand. Blaire White also said there were other people in the transgender community that reached out to Blaire White and said, hey, I want to get my YouTube channel going. I need some tips, some pointers, this, that, and everything else, yada, yada, yada. Can you help me out? And Blaire White said they started, but because of the feedback, and surprisingly, it didn't come from those from the straight community. It came from those within their own community that gave those people grief. So they fell off the social media platform altogether. Blaire White said that she has thicker skin. She can deal with it. How she does it, she doesn't know. But basically, she's built for this. But the story behind Daphne committing suicide was what disturbed her. That really hit a nerve, struck a chord. And Blaire White was pretty much saying the things that they say that they're against when it comes to other people speaking out against, like, the gay community, the alphabet community, the transgender community, is the same thing that those communities are guilty of doing. Okay? They come at people with such aggression, with ways to just say, you're not allowed to make mistakes, you're not allowed to be immature, you're not allowed to do this, that, and the other. Because at some point when we grow, we do go through a process of being immature until we can grow up to become mature. But you're not even allowed to do that without being attacked, without being canceled, without having your past being brought up. Sounds familiar? I'm just saying. And then when you have grown beyond this, the level of mentality of being immature, and you actually grew up, so now you have a better understanding of things. You see things through a different lens. You're not who you was 10, 12 years ago. That has no that isn't credited towards who you are now. Because people are always going to reflect on the past to point out who you were, or the stupid shit that you entertained. So how are you allowed to grow if people are going to keep holding your foot to the fire? But that doesn't just resonate and is only designated in the alphabet community or in the gay community. It's also done in the black community. It's done in the white community. It's done in other communities. I used examples of how I don't care too much for people who are so pro-black that they can't see who the enemy is because they are comfortable with generalizing, say, for example, all white people, saying that all white people are racist, all white people are white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, and that they are neo-Nazis, are affiliated with the Klan, this, that, and everything else. They all got hatred in their heart towards people of color. Just isn't so. I know right now there's a discussion with certain people that when it comes to, like, I want to say white allies, it's like, how do you know the difference? Like the talking points that I'm having with Ricky Manor, like, not directly, but kind of like apart. When it comes to white people, how do you know who can say something to speak up for black people and who can't say something in regards to speaking up for black people? Who are they identified as being a liberal, the fox, or just a genuine person speaking out, from what they see, what reflected on them based on their experiences and stuff like that? How do you differentiate the two? And I think that's where I'm at with Ricky Manor when it comes to certain content creators or whatever. And it's just to gain the knowledge of wanting to know. Because I give everybody a chance until I see different, until a certain chord is struck where it rubs me the wrong way. But it's neither here and there because I'm getting off the topic. But it's something that Blaire White said, that when it comes to people trying to understand the existence of others, and pretty much what Blaire White said in regards to answering that, so to speak, your way of life isn't for me to understand. Your humanity is for me to respect. I thought that was spot on. I said, Blaire White, you hit the nail on the head. It couldn't have been more accurate and on point than that statement right there that you made. I'm going to leave a link in the comment section to the video that Blaire White did in regards to her take on the situation with Dave Chappelle. For me personally, um, I live again with people who one is transitioning, one is her partner, and my sister is gay. Okay, so things within my life experience, I see things on a certain level, and I have these discussions. I ask these questions just so I could get an understanding. Okay, um, I don't hold malice or ill will or certain perspectives on people. I look at them as being the individual and how they treat me. They open up their home to me and my child. When shit went downhill with me and my son's mother because she deals with an addiction that's more important than being a mother to our son. So yeah, I'm struggling. And if it wasn't for these people to support me, I don't know where I would be right now. So my attitude when people want to know how I feel about people within the community, I look at the individual. Because sometimes the representation of the individual says more than the community itself. With that being said, please leave a comment in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, until next video, you already know. Peace.